Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the Sheff United Way. I am live from Bramall Lane obviously and I'm very croaky. As you can tell, I'm reacting to Sheffield United 1, Southampton 2, and I've one guess why I am really croaky this evening. The reason for that is because of that terrible referee. And I'm not a Neil Warnock. I'm not usually somebody that moans about referees, but he was terrible. And I'm wondering if it's got anything to do with Chris Wilder kicking the ball into the south stand at half time after the referee gave that penalty that clearly wasn't. I could see from the other side of the ground in the south stand that wasn't a penalty. Michael Cooper clearly pulled his arms away, and Ross Stewart clearly took a tumble, didn't he? But we'll get there in a second, we'll get there. Because it's a bit of a crazy one tonight, because I actually thought we played really well. And going into half time, I thought I was going to be doing a match reaction to this game and talking about a win or at least a draw. I could not fathom a way of Sheffield United not getting anything from this game tonight at half time, because I thought we were fabulous in the first half. To say that we've lost so many games this season, we've only just picked up our first win away against Oxford. This did not feel like a team that's threatened by relegation. It really didn't. We're very early on in the season, so there's no point in really talking about relegation right now. But you know, we're in this situation, aren't we? So we are bottom of the league. We've only picked up 3 points. We've played a lot of games of football, but that tonight did not feel like a team in 24th playing a team in 19th or 17th, whatever Southampton were before this game. This felt like, just based on the football in general, this felt like Southampton were either top of the league or second, and we were kind of fifth or sixth chasing them, because that's how I thought the game had a lot of quality in it. I really did. It didn't feel like two teams that had really poor starts to the season. But Southampton were really good, and I've got to take my hat off to them. They were really good at being big, compact, explosive on the break. They were dangerous, but even though looking at the stats after the game, it didn't feel like they'd had more shots. It didn't feel like they'd had more possession. It didn't feel like they'd had more XG. I know people can say what they want about XG, but and clearly the penalty was a high XG, but they did have a higher XG than us. I think theirs was like 1.65 and ours was like 0.85. So both teams have outdone their XG. Obviously that fantastic goal by Ross Stewart. I was not familiar with your game, Ross Stewart, because that was a fantastic strike, it really was. And really, if it wasn't for that wonderful strike, it would have been a draw. And I think that a draw would have been a fair result coming away from this game. But it does feel like 2 points dropped. And it does feel like, I don't know whether it feels like we are not a promotion chasing team. Forget the first 7 or 8 games, forget them, because right now this team feels like a playoff candidate. We're miles off that, but it feels like a playoff candidate. But I don't think we're quite there when it comes to teams like Southampton. Obviously Ipswich battered us, but if Ipswich came here tonight, it wouldn't have been a 5-0 defeat. So I think we're there or thereabouts with the squad and with, you know, how well we've played tonight. This felt like the Chris Wilder side of last season. This didn't feel like a relegation threatened side, as I've mentioned earlier. So let's go through the game bit by bit. There's a lot to talk about, so let's try and go through it. And if I miss stuff, apologies. Normally I've got notes in front of me. I don't. I've just got a camera. I'm in front of Bramall Lane. So obviously we took the lead 1-0. Very good goal by Tyrese Campbell. Like that's one for the archive. That turns his man, cuts back in on his left and just curls it perfectly into the top corner. It might have even hit the underside of the crossbar. It was that top corner. What a finish that was. And yeah, I think we were deserving of that. I really do. I think we were the better team mostly in the first half. We deserved to be going in 1-0. However, that nearly didn't happen, did it? Because there was a fantastic ball over the top. I think it was Mark McGuinness kind of got caught underneath there. It's in between McGuinness and Ben Mee. By the way, Ben Mee again, what a game, what a game. I've not seen the highlights of some of the goals, so if Ben Mee's pulled a clanger, apologies. But no, he had another really good game today. But that penalty decision, the ball came over, Ross Stewart took it down perfectly. It was a brilliant touch. And Cooper comes out. Cooper had a bit of a stinker, to be honest, today. Cooper wasn't at his best, and he made a couple of clangers. But this one for me, again, I haven't watched it back, so you're going to have to bear with me. But it looks like from where I was sat in the south stand, the opposite side to where, you know, Ross Stewart was running through on, it looked like Ross Stewart took a touch out of his feet past Cooper, and Cooper's dived to go get it, taking his hands away, and he's either took him out or Ross Stewart's looked for that and he's tried to you know, gain contact with the goalkeeper. Again, I can't say for certain, but that's what it looked like from me. It looked like he bought that penalty kick, and you know, just desserts were served, weren't they? Because Adam Armstrong steps up and fires it into the cop. Who saw that coming? Not me, because a couple of days earlier I saw a Levels video, I think it was, on Sky Bet's YouTube channel, where Adam Armstrong was showing the art of penalty taking, and all three of his penalties were pretty much perfect. So I was looking at that thinking there's absolutely no chance that he's not going to score this penalty. And then he absolutely roofs it. And when I say roof it, I mean roof of the cop, not roof of the goal. What a terrible, terrible penalty that was. But Chris Wilder, this is where he sees red, and I'm not sure why he does it. He boots the ball into his own fans in the south stand, which was a bit odd. I think he was just really, really frustrated with the fact that the penalty was given in the first place. And the fact that we didn't concede from it makes me wonder why he did it. And I know he's seen red mist, he's got really annoyed, he's kicked it into his own fans, which he then went up and apologised. I did see that. And then the referee waits around, and I'm thinking, why is he waiting here? But obviously it's to red card Chris Wilder, and he's definitely going to be sidelined, or not even sidelined, not on the sidelines for the next game. I'm not sure whether this is a 3-match ban or not. This is something that I should know, but I can't remember the last time I saw a Sheffield United manager get sent off, so that's potentially the reason why I'm not sure about this. Chris Wilder doesn't tend to lose his rag that much, but as I mentioned right at the start of the video, the referee was terrible, really bad, and the times when the referee was the worst was the little niggly fouls that they were, you know, too smart to give away as a foul. There were little pushes in the back. There were, I just feel like the one that's sticking in my mind is when Ogbene is going through one-on-one, and then number 17, the really, really lanky guy, just goes through his back, and it's not much. It's just enough to push him off balance, and I don't know how that cannot be given as a free kick. Well, I do know how. The referee's bottled it because the referee doesn't want to send the player off. Clear as day, that is it. Because if he'd have flown through Ogbene, yes, the referee would have given it, it'd have sent him off, it'd have been a free kick to us. But he didn't. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was just knocking him off balance, so he couldn't get through and score. And the referee and the linesman should have noticed that and realised that these players are seasoned pros that know what they're doing. And that was a red card. It was. He's going through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I don't think I've seen a more blatant red card ever, because he's going through one-on-one. So that's a really, really poor decision from the referee in the second half. But I think it was before that, we were 1-0 up, and Callum O'Hare gets put through from a brilliantly worked free kick down the right-hand side. He just pushes it through. Callum O'Hare makes the best run, and he's through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He just strikes it as hard as he can and true as he can. And I think it was McCarthy in the goal, makes a fantastic save, because I think he's going down and his hand just comes up, and it's such a strong hand as well, because he hit it with some pace. So it's one of those, if O'Hare doesn't hit it as well as what he does, this probably ends up in the back of the net. And it's 2-0 and that's game over. They're not coming back into this game because we were the better side at that point. After that, it all turned around and Southampton came onto us more, got more confidence. We recoiled back into our shell and they just pushed us further and further back. And it felt like for the next 10 minutes, we just couldn't get a foothold on the game. They just kept coming in waves and waves. And they eventually got that goal. Corner comes in. I think it's Adam Armstrong flicks the header off the crossbar. Nobody's marking him. I don't know who's supposed to be marking him, but he flicks his header off the crossbar. Everybody still stood like, what just happened there? And then Ross Stewart at the back post side foots this through, I think, a body of legs and ends up in the back of the net. It's a good finish, but it's poor defending from us because I think that's practically two men having free shots on goal. One courtesy of Armstrong's head and the other one courtesy of Stewart's boot. So that's 1-1 and they're back in this game. We try to go again. And then on that left-hand side, the ball breaks to Stewart. He pushes it past one of our players. He's got oceans of room. As I said earlier on, I did not know that Stewart had this in his locker. What a strike that is. And if it were, it's a goal worthy of winning a game of football. Let's just be honest. If we're looking at this not as a Sheffield United fan or not as a Southampton fan, a complete neutral, this is a goal that was worthy of winning this game, wasn't it? And it's a great strike. It really is. Cooper's got absolutely no chance, and that's the goal that won the game. But there was lots and lots and lots that happened after this, lots, including Sidney Peck scoring in the 89th minute, something like that. I don't know how this has been chalked off, but it's a deep, deep cross from the corner from Gus Harmer. I think Gus Harmer's put way too much on this. And it's right at the back post because I'm thinking he's looking at Tanganga, he's looking at McGuinness, and they're the players that he wants to be aiming the ball for. And it goes over everybody's head. Peck ghosts in at the back post, heads it in, runs off to the cop, boots the corner flag, shatters it like Jamie Vardy did at Bramall Lane a few years back. And then obviously the game has to stop, flag being put back in, got a cheer, well done mate. But he didn't smile. He didn't smile or wave to the crowd or anything like that, which would have been nice. I'd have certainly done that if I would have been the one putting that flag back. But I don't know what's happened here because obviously I've been at the game, not sure why this has been given. There must have been some tussling in the box, but with what with what the referee did and the decisions that the referee gave in this game, I'm already going to say that it should have been a goal, just because the referee had a terrible, terrible afternoon. Anyway, so Peck puts the ball in the back of the net. Peck thinks he's got as a last-minute equaliser. That would have been perfect for Peck as well, wouldn't it? Because he's been so close to scoring a goal. Well, he's been trying. He was trying all last season to score a goal. He didn't quite get there, and he thinks he will score a goal this season. I'm positive of that, but it wasn't today. But that would have been a perfect timing for Peck's first goal. And Peck gets booked, obviously, for kicking that corner flag. And then that's all she wrote, really. Again, there were a couple more that the referee should have done better with, but I think I've pretty much outlined everything that happened in this game. Danny Ings getting a lot of stick from the Southampton fans. I'm not sure why that was. There must be something in there that he's I don't know. I don't know why, but Southampton fans didn't seem to like him. And I'd have had him on earlier, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'd have had him on earlier and I'd had him on instead of Cannon. However, when Cannon came on, he did okay. He linked up with Danny Ings quite well, actually. And he was getting his head on balls and flicking them on and stuff and linking the play a little bit. One other thing that I just want to address, another really poor decision from the referee was when Danny Ings managed to win himself a free kick on the edge of the box. Not sure if he actually got caught, but those are the types of things you need to do as a striker, as a seasoned veteran striker. He knows what to do. He knows how to win free kicks in these areas. And then Gus Harmer stands over that free kick and we don't want anyone else over it, do we? Really, let's be honest. And the point of the point of this part of the video is the fact that when he was stood over it, the referee walked 8 steps. The crowd were literally counting that with the referee, and he stopped at the wall at 8 steps, and we're just like, yeah, that's enough. That's enough. It's 10 steps. It's 10 steps, referee. You should know that as well as we do. That's why we counted them with you. So that was a terrible decision from the referee again. And I don't know how. That's not a decision, that's an opinion. It's literally fact. You walked 8 steps and stopped and were like, yeah, that's probably fine. But if I would have been Gus Harmer here, I'd have brought the ball back 2 steps. So he's got the enough kind of distance to get it up and over. But I'm not sure it was the right idea to try and flick this over the wall there. There wasn't enough pace on it. I think the keeper would have got to it, but it flicks off the wall, goes out for a corner. And yeah, I think that's all she wrote. So I think we'll leave it there, ladies and gents. Really, really frustrated, but at the same time, I am massively optimistic after this performance tonight. If we'd have played like that against Oxford, would have beaten them 4 or 5-0, but maybe that win against Oxford has just, you know, given us that confidence to go into a game like this against a really, really good team like Southampton and really take it to them. And I think we did. And the reason why they won this game was because of a stunning strike. I don't remember any other chances that they had that were really, really clear cut. So yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, the Blades have not won this game of football or even got a point. But I think we deserved a point. I really do. A point was probably the least that we deserved in this game. So unfortunately, it wasn't to be tonight, ladies and gents. But yeah, I think I'm quietly optimistic about the rest of the season. I don't think we're going to be in a relegation scrap or anything like that. But, you know, we need more nights like this at Bramall Lane, more days like this at Bramall Lane. And, yeah, Chris Wilder's certainly bringing us back together and bringing the players back together because they needed it. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of this game. Do you think I'm talking nonsense or do you agree with me? Let us know in the comments. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.